Hi everybody, I'm Johanna, illustrator, ink evangelist and colouring book creator. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you two different ways to tackle water in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Firstly, we're going to look at this stylised water here and we're going to do what I call the ribbon technique. And on this section here, this little paddly puddly bit, we're going to do something with watercolour pencils. So first things first, pop a few sheets of blank paper behind the page that we're working on. This just protects it from indentation and any transfer of ink. Now we're all prepped, let's get colouring. You will need your copy of Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, some Staedtler Karat Aquarelle watercolour pencils, your Staedtler Ergosoft pencils. I'll write the numbers of each pencil that I use in the show notes below, and also a little paintbrush and some water, of course. So for this first technique, we're colouring the water and it looks quite stylised. So this is what I call the ribbon technique, and basically the water has been drawn so it's represented by these different swirly ribbons, and we're going to colour each of those ribbons either dark blue or a pale aqua blue. And I'm just going to press hard and do the ends of the ribbons dark and have a little highlight in the middle where it's much lighter. So it's going to be mainly the dark blue and then just a few little accent swirls of the turquoise blue. For big sections like this, I'm just gonna go dark in all these little nooks and crannies and then have it go lighter in the sort of more open sections. So I would just continue like that, filling in all these bits, and as you can see, when I go underneath a fish, I press darker again, and also I've gone over all the bubbles. So now I'm just going to use a white gel pen and go back in and make those bubbles white. You can still see a bit of the blue beneath the white gel, which gives it a nice translucent look. And you could even add in some more little dots like this. So for this water technique, I'm going to use the watercolour pencils, and I'm going to use the darker blue around the bottom of the lily flowers and also the lily pads. And you don't need to be very precise, because when we add water, all this colouring pencil is going to turn magically to paint, and we'll be able to puddle about with it a bit and pull it around and move it to create the water effect. And then I'm going to do some sort of reflection-y water type marks like this, and then just let this edge fade out. Next up, I'm going to grab my secondary blue and overlap and fill in some of the white, but again, don't be afraid to leave some white paper behind. There we go. So super rough just now, and then I'm going to grab my paintbrush and a little bit of water, and I'm going to start on the left because I'm right-handed. Just wet that colouring pencil and start moving it around and creating little pools and puddles. And again, I wouldn't be worried about leaving little bits like this of white paper. I think that looks really nice because it looks like a little ripple in the water. And where you had the darker blue pencil, you'll create these little shadows that give the impression of, I think, deeper water. And then for bits like this around the heron's feet, if your watercolour pencil goes a little bit crazy and goes over the lines, don't worry at all, because when you come to colour in the stork's legs, you'll just colour over the top of that and you'll never know. So there you go, there's two different ways to tackle water. This ribbon technique, but also the watercolour one down here. I hope that's given you some ideas and inspiration for your own colouring, and I can't wait to see how you tackle all the rivers, pools and puddles in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.